Okay, welcome back to another tutorial kind of thing. Today I'm going to be showing you the very basics of Premiere Pro. This is, I believe, this one is Premiere Pro CC 2019. So I'm just going to be showing you the very basics of how to edit, do some other stuff. This is really for very early beginners. So yeah, first off we're going to go through workspaces. You can see these at the top here are your different workspaces. Currently we're on learning. There is assembly. Editing is the one we're going to be using for videos. Color, effects, audio, graphics, and the libraries. So they all change the windows. These, you can see these things are ticked. They're on the screen for this particular job you want to do. So for editing we have our program window up here, which will show a preview of the video that is on the timeline. This is where we import our media, and up here is the effect controls. So for starters, to import media you can just double click in this box and this window will pop up. So I mean, obviously your videos will be different to where mine are. I'm just going to go ahead and select this video here, which is just a nice little Fortnite clip I got. So it will appear in this box down here. You can create bins, which are basically folders within this, so you can call this bin pictures, and then all the pictures that are on the timeline you can put in here. But for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to do that. So you can just drag, you can preview this by just dragging along it, but you can just grab on the thumbnail and drag it onto your timeline, drag and drop, and there will be two bars, one audio, one video. So the L and R stand for left and right headphone. If you want to for some reason mute the right headphones so people only hear it through their left ear at certain points, or up the volume, you can do all that. But as I'm saying, this is only the basics. So you know, these controls over here, we have the select tool where you can select things, drag the buffer thing across. We have the razor tool where you can cut the video, so you click anywhere like that, and now this is two separate videos, two separate like entities. And the text tool is probably the only other thing we're going to be using. So first off, if you want to cut this to, I mean for me, I want to cut it to when I sniped a guy. Not there. About here. So you drag it to where you want to cut it, and you can press C or click on the razor tool over here, and then you go to you can press equals or minus to zoom in, and you can go to where your cursor is and just click. So now I want to delete this, so I click on this and press the delete key on my keyboard, and there we go. We can zoom all the way out, and now we have our clip here. If you want to get rid of this empty space in front of it, you can double click on it, and you can see it's highlighted, and you just press delete. This will move it to the start of your timeline. So you can watch back the video here by pressing space, which is the default shortcut. There we go, and that is my clip. So you can do multiple things with this. You could zoom in and stuff, but first we're gonna put some text. So you press the type tool, and anywhere in this preview window, wherever you want the text to be, you just click, and you can put nice snipe or whatever you want. And then over here in your effect controls window, you can change the font style. If you want it bold, obviously you have to select it to actually do that. Bold. You can change the font to be anything you want, and you know, any of these centerings and stuff like that. And then once you've finished, you can just click anywhere and it'll be up there. If you want to move it around, you can click on it in the timeline, and you should just be able to drag it around by pressing position and then moving it like that. So yeah, that you can obviously change the sizing and stuff everywhere in there. So now we have our text. This is how long it will appear for over the video. So you can extend this, or so if I want it to stop here, then the text will go off the screen at this point. So if we want to, say, zoom in on the person, that's iSnipes, for some reason here, we could cut this here, just to make it easier for us when editing to see where the crop is. And if we want the crop to go to here, we can cut the video here also. So then if we press our selection tool and we go to this video up here, we will see our effects window comes up. So we have the toggle animations is basically, it will set keyframes over here and you can adjust where they are. So this is the start of our clip. So if at the start, we can change the position and the scale. So if at the start we want it to be normally zoomed like this, and then around here we want to start zooming in. So we can change the scale by just holding and then just dragging forward like this. We'll zoom in and out of the clip. We can drag it to, say, here, and then we can move our position by clicking here, and this is just dragging in the preview window. So that is the guy. So over this space of time, I mean, because this is about half a second, it's going to take a while to zoom in, but if we move these two over here, it will be a slightly shorter effect. And the guy has moved, so moving the position down here did not really work, but that's alright because we can change our position keyframe and move it back up to where the guy actually is. So obviously this is a very sketchy example here, but this is the basics, the very basics of it. So you can, if you want to crop, there is a slightly, personally, if it's a picture, I would crop it the same way, just zooming in, but there is a different way to do it. If you go to the effects here, probably video effects, that's transitions, video effects, and then under transform, and then crop. So you drag that onto your window thing, and now under your effect controls there'll be a thing here called top, and you can just drag this in like that, each side, to show what you want to crop to, and then you can press zoom and it will zoom in. But obviously because these are not all the same percentage, it might stretch it and stuff, which is why personally I don't like to use crop. I prefer to use to just change the scale up here, because it will keep it a uniform scale, so it will always be the same aspect ratio and it won't look stretched like this. But whatever floats your boat. So let me just undo the crop here. Okay, so I'm actually just going to mute these audio tracks because it's when I go along it's making an annoying noise. So let's say for some strange reason, this isn't really long enough, but whatevs, we want to have an image float along our screen. Okay, so we go back to our project thing, we double click in here to add, and mine should be, yeah, okay, so we can get my E from my logo, because if I import anything else it will have a background. Actually this might as well, no, okay, so we have my E here, and if we want to animate this E to move along the screen, we can click on it, and then the same with our position. So let's just make this a little bit smaller, probably about that big. So at the start of the clip we want it to be in the middle, so then let's say about here, we can drag it, once we select a position we can drag it Okay, we select a keyframe, and then we select the position, the motion, and we can drag it, say, up here. And then we move along again, we put another keyframe here by pressing add or remove keyframe, and then back to motion, and we can move it down here. And you can see this is the line that E will take. So now we go over here, we add another keyframe, and we press motion. And you keep repeating this for wherever you want to move it along the screen. For example, I use this for dragging a car along a road on a map to show where we drove. And this can be useful quite a lot of times. And then right back at the end here, we can have it go back to the center. So if we watch this through, you will see that this E will move along the path that I made for it, and that is very, very simple animation in Premiere Pro. About as simple as it gets, to be honest. So yeah, you can see the line it will take, and you can drag this out and adjust it, not like that, but at any point. So I think next we should probably move on to transitions, maybe. So to go for transitions, we go to video transitions in the drop down, and we can choose anything. For example, 3D motion. We want a cube spin, and we just drag it. This will mean it starts at the end of this clip here. This will mean it starts at the start of this clip. So let's say we want it at the end of this clip. So now you can see if we zoom in, the cube spin will start here. So we can watch that. And as simple as that. For some reason it's lagging a little bit, but there you go. Cube spin. And if you click on this cube spin, I mean, this is more complicated, but you can change the way it works, the way it looks, pretty much everything about it. But you can see that there, the transition, very simple. You just drag it onto the end of a clip, and that's about as simple as it gets with Premiere Pro. Obviously, this being a pretty advanced software, you can do hundreds of more things. I mean, we've only used one workspace. There is loads of different things you can do graphics wise. You know, you can drag things and changing them and put credits in places, which isn't very complicated, I know, but it can get very complicated. So this is a very basic tutorial, but anything I haven't covered or anything you think I should have done differently, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. I hope this was helpful. Okay, I'm actually just currently editing this video and just realized I didn't include one of the hardest things, or the most complicated things to get right, which is how to export your video afterwards. So to do that, if you press Control plus the A key, which selects all of it in any Windows program ever, which you'll probably already know. So this is all selected. Then if you go up here to File and Export Media, it will show your preview and you can watch it back or whatever you want to do. So I select I recommend doing the format H.264, which is MP4 basically, and then for the preset you should just match the source, which is the video. So the original video you input, it will match the source for most of the things. So you can change the output name and in here where it exports to. So if I want to export it here, I can do that and name it this. So now it's called that.mp4, and you can choose to only do audio or only video, whatever you want, or both. So then under here, under the video, basically everything you just want to match the source, unless the source is different to where you're, like the width, like, you know, this is the aspect ratio, the width and height. So I suppose if your source was a 720p video and you want to make it 1080, then you can unclick this, the match source, this one, and then you can change these manually. But for me it's the same. The frame rate, if you're doing gaming, that's very important. You can change all this here. Audio, this depends on your mic. My mic is 48,000 Hertz. If your mic is 44,000, you select that because it will change the way you sound quite dramatically sometimes. None of these you need to worry about really. You just need to remember that your width and height is right. That's the main thing. And then you might as well check use maximum render quality. It might take longer, a couple minutes longer, but it's worth it. I don't click use previews. That basically just means when you press export, it will go through the preview. I don't do that because I don't watch it. And then you just press export, and once you do this, it will start encoding it, and it will tell you the estimated time to render it. I'm going to cancel it because I haven't finished yet, because I need to add this recording on the end. But that's how to export it simply. I've already said my outro, so this is like a little extra.